Across the Highlands in particular, some sunny spells here, a few fog patches, but much wetter across Aberdeenshire down towards Edinburgh. Outbreaks of heavy rain in places. Showery rain across Northern Ireland too, southern Scotland, but some brighter skies for Northern England, North Wales, but showers around, and then a mixture of cloud and showery rain across the rest of England and Wales first thing on Monday morning. Some of the rain already heavy from the word go, and then through the day we'll see bands of showers, longer spells of rain pushing north and eastwards across many parts of the country. So a brolly will be needed, but in between there will be some sunny spells and still staying fairly blustery, particularly around some of the coast and over the hills. Some places may manage to stay dry all day, but most of us seeing some rain, and temperatures just a few degrees down on Monday, highs around 12 to 14 Celsius towards the south. Into the evening time, those bands of rain continue to push north and eastward, showers following on behind, remaining fairly breezy as well. And for the next few days, it remains unsettled. There'll be showers, longer spells of rain, but generally staying on the mild side, particularly across England and Wales.
Today's outlook: cool, calm, and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
We could be delivering the perfect Christmas to you this year. There's £30,000 in tax-free cash to make 2026 the best year yet. A further £10,000 cash to spend on gifts for all the family. There's £1,000 to spend in your favourite supermarket. And a festively themed GB News goodie bag. And we'll get it all to you in time for the big day. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB17 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 28th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now is they are throwing things up the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Good evening, I'm Bethany Elsey with your top stories from the GB newsroom at 6 o'clock. The King has led national commemorations for those who lost their lives in the 2 world wars and subsequent conflicts. grateful family, senior politicians and thousands of service personnel and veterans observed a 2-minute silence at the cenotaph in central London. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, was among those who joined King Charles in laying wreaths at the monument. Some 10,000 Armed Forces veterans took part in the Royal British Legion's march through Whitehall, including 20 who served in the Second World War. Services were also held across the UK, including the Band of the Royal Regiment of Scotland leading a march through Edinburgh, as well as the Band and Bugles of the Rifles leading processions in Northern Ireland. Their Director of Remembrance, Philippa Rawlinson, says it's been a poignant day.
We've seen veterans come together, that comradeship that people have within the armed forces being renewed as people fall into their regiments, and this year being joined by about 20 World War II veterans. I know we were expecting 20, I'm not sure how many we had in the end, but it's wonderful to have both the E and VJ veterans at the front of the march and then other veterans leading their associations. So real richness as we saw 101-year-olds and 8-year-olds marching today, just showing how remembrance really unites us.
The BBC is expected to apologise for the way in which a speech by Donald Trump was edited in an episode of Panorama. Clips were spliced together from the US president's speech on the day of the Capitol Hill riot in 2021. Chairman Samir Shah is expected to give a full response to the Culture, Media and Sport Committee tomorrow.
To the Capitol.
UK military personnel and equipment is being sent to Belgium after suspected Russian drone incursions on its airspace. Flights were disrupted at Brussels and Liège airports on Thursday after unidentified drone sightings, which were also reported at military bases and nuclear facilities. RAF specialists will be deployed alongside Belgian and German teams following a request for support. The Kremlin denies any involvement. Super Typhoon Fenghuang has made landfall in the Philippines, already killing 2 people and forcing more than 1 million to evacuate. It's the second typhoon to strike the region this week, bringing winds of up to 140 miles an hour, heavy rain and flooding. Typhoon Kalmegi hit the Philippines and Vietnam on Tuesday, killing more than 200 people and more than 100 are still missing. The Shadow Defence Secretary says David Lammy has questions to answer over whether he broke the ministerial code when being challenged in the Commons about prisoner releases. On Wednesday, James Cartledge pressed the Justice Secretary to confirm whether any other asylum-seeking offenders had been wrongly freed since the case of Hadush Kabatu. The Deputy Prime Minister declined to answer. 4 incorrectly released prisoners, 2 of whom were freed last year, remain at large. Mr Cartledge is accusing Mr Lammy of choosing not to share the facts.
There's a big question about the ministerial code. As a minister, David Lammy is duty-bound to be transparent with Parliament. And had I known that when I was asking those questions, he apparently had a statement about that issue at hand and he chose not to give any answers at all, I find that extraordinary. So there are big questions for him to answer. We then request...
You're up to date. I'll have more for you in an hour's time.
For all the latest from GB News whilst you're on the go, get the GB News app. Scan the QR code now to download or visit gbnews.com/app.
News.